All right, so the meeting of the Whitman Historical Commission comes to order on Saturday, September 7th. It's a special meeting for us to review. The goal is to review the one proposal that came in from our RFQ around our inventory of historical landmarks and homes within Whitman. So gathered today, the team has reviewed all of the proposal. We have one proposal that came in officially on time and met all our criteria for us to review. And today we are going through and for the procurement team to give us the ratings for each of the from each person. So the three criteria we're using as we review the proposal are approach/plan with the weight of 40%. Experience/key personnel that'll be dedicated to this project, and we weighted that at 40%, and then the cost. So we have a cost of $40,000, and that's weighted at 20%. So we'll go around the room, round robin, and if folks can, one, give us their rating for each of the criteria. So 0 is it failed to fit, 1 is it was a poor fit, 2 it was a fair fit, 3 it was a good fit, 4 was a very good fit, and 5 was an excellent fit. You can tell we needed an extra as we weight this for pieces to go through. So Kathy, Keith, we'll start with you. If you want to give us the rating on the approach plan.
Oh, so you know what?
Did you do one or no?
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
yeah.
So you know what? I didn't know by my not being on the commission
Right.
if I have.
I think you're right. I don't. The last time we did it, Greg, who sat in your chair, didn't.
Okay.
He just
You didn't weigh in.
sat
Okay.
in.
I
Yeah.
did not, and I don't think it is
Okay.
my.
Perfect.
So I will
We
not.
will take that. We will have you
Okay.
bypass, and we will move on then to Mike Gaines.
The first one, the approach and plan, I gave her a 4.
Okay,
I
great.
thought it was very good. She had a very strong emphasis on architecture, the first
Yes.
portion of it. And I didn't read all of her, she gave us hundreds of
She did
forms,
lots of
just
great
so everyone knows.
Yep.
I did read a couple of them. I picked a couple of them.
Yep.
I thought
So you got
I
the
thought she
gist of her
conducted
approach, yeah.
right, and I thought I gave her a 4 for experience and key personnel.
Yeah.
I think she's conducted a lot of these, and I'm sure after a
Yeah,
while it becomes routine. She does 100 up to 140 for the 8 communities that she's done them. She's done a ton of them.
Yeah.
So I think she's probably had a lot of experience. It looks like she's her own company, that she does everything on her own, which can be good and bad.
Yeah.
The last company we had, they had a leader, and then they had a couple assistants that helped. This might actually be better and easy, more beneficial when there's just one person that is held accountable.
Yes.
And
it's
then-
her company, which
right.
is good too. So,
Yes,
yeah.
her name's on it.
Yeah.
And then cost, I gave her 5 because she
Okay.
had the cost.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
And you said 4, 4, and 5?
4, 4, 5.
Excellent.
The East German judge voted 4, 4, and 5.
Love it. All right. Robert, we'll move on to you.
I did all 4s across the board.
Okay, great.
Approach plan 4, it seemed like there was plenty of, stuff that she had perfect. I just didn't know, being new to this, I didn't want to give her a 5 just because,
Yeah. Like
room
that.
for improvement.
Yeah.
Experience key personnel 4 because it looks like it was just her and
Yeah.
didn't have any assistants, and I thought, well, that just kind of like what you said, could be good and bad.
Yep.
In cost, I didn't go 5 because I'm a stickler for money, and I did the numbers,
Yep.
and it looked like it came out to about 266 per unit. I'm just calling the unit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, well, what if we could do 250? But that would only be about $3,000 less. But I thought, well, she would go for that, maybe.
Okay.
So that's why 4s across the board.
Good. All right. Great. Good.
But
point.
definitely a very good fit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Lorna, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same way. I didn't go for a 5 yet because I really am new and I really didn't have much to compare it to. I thought it was excellent, but
Right.
I'm just going to put a 4 basically on the approach and the experience
Great.
and the cost. It came out exactly with what we have.
Yeah. So do you want a 4 or 5 on cost?
I did a 4 across the
okay.
board.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Sean, how was your rating? Yep.
I did, for experience and key personnel, a 5.
5. Okay.
Because she really seems to know what she's doing.
Yep.
I read through her resume. I definitely liked that she had an architectural background.
Yeah.
And her provided examples were very thorough.
Yeah.
Bibliographized. The approach plan, I would rate between a 3 and a 4.
3 and 4. 3.5?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, great.
Only because, having gone through college, when I have to submit a proposal to do a research project, I have to provide sources within my within my plan,
Yeah.
not as like afterwards. So like reading through it, I was like, there were no sources in here until I got down to the examples.
Yeah.
And I think it would be very helpful to have like, here are some of my frequently used sources
Okay, great.
within the plan.
Good.
And then cost, I'd say 4 because,
Yeah.
as Robert said, 266 per unit. It's not bad.
Yeah. Great. All right. I'll give my ratings and then we'll go to Molly. Sorry.
That's
We
okay.
just kicked off. So we're just giving our ratings we're on record, so that as we go through it. So I gave her a 4 for approach to plan. Again, I felt it was reasonable. She had the background, but again, being new to the commission, I didn't want to give her a full 5 because wanted to make sure that, with the experts in the room that you could weigh in better. I gave her a 4 for experience in key personnel. I did think she had a good background. Architects bringing it into play. Again, put it at a 4, not a 5, because again, wanted the experience of the room and new to this kind of project. And then I did give a 5 for cost because it hit the button, but I'm taking your thing into account as we negotiate, your points into account as we negotiate the final contract. But, so I was 4, 4, 5. Great. And then Molly, we'll turn to you.
Well, basically, I did 4 on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Great.
But there are a couple of things that I noticed in reading her things. First of all, we have to be very careful. She has spelling errors.
Yep.
And that to me, we just have to be careful
Yep.
in the process of reading and reviewing her work.
Yep.
In some of her architectural things, she was bland, where I think she could have done a little bit more. I would like to see photography of particularly the one that she said was Gothic Revival.
Okay.
The Gothic Revival one, it had a tremendous amount of architectural detail to it. She gave it not good condition, but she didn't have any pictures of the things that would be worth saving. And those little details make a huge difference, particularly if they start to slam vinyl on it.
Gotcha.
In the baseboard around the roof lines, in a couple of those, I didn't get a chance to go and take a look at them. But a lot of times the molding has specific detail that really tells you the area of the house. And so she had 2 of those that I was kind of, God knows I wasn't going to go to Middleborough to look at. But, I think
good notes for
the other thing that I noticed about was that she has a long distance between jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And that I thought was a little unusual from what I need to open this. I did notice that she had like 2008, and then it went from 2008 to 2015 that she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that we have to make sure that we do is call her references.
Agreed. Yeah, that was something that was.
And particularly in one of the situations, she didn't have the chair of the historic commission. She had a member, and that doesn't mean anything. It could mean
We've
that,
moved,
that-
yeah.
but I think it's something that
Maybe we could divide that up, Jim saying. So
Yeah.
The reference check.
Can you say the numbers that you had for your
Yeah, I had that.
preferences or for your
I
ratings?
had
again?
4 for
4,
everything.
4, 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what were yours, Mary?
Mine was 4, 4, 5.
I thought I thought that her reports were extremely detailed.
Yes.
I just would like, I think one of the things we talked about in the past that I thought was really good that she did was she didn't use all the internet.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've got going for us is the Dyer. And PAL never used the Dyer. They never went into any of they never checked with John Campbell.
Right. They never did this.
They used the red book and the green book extensively, and that seems like that was the.
And that's what I liked about her approach. It wasn't just internet.
Right.
She wasn't relying. She was traveling around, looking at the neighborhoods and taking her own. Yeah.
And she started her letter with how familiar she is with the southeastern Massachusetts. I never think of Methuen as being.
tries.
I'm geographically challenged, but no, I think we lucked out because
Yeah.
when we were first looking at her or at all of the people that they gave us, she was my top choice.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit more. I spent quite a few hours on this, looking at it, and I kept thinking, "Whoa." You know, she did a good job. The spelling kind of bothered me, and the no indication of why she had that. Did anybody else pick up on the distance of the time range?
I didn't.
I didn't think to
Take a look at her resume.
Yeah.
I was looking back. I didn't.
I was looking more recently from 215. That was
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Right.
There's a lot right now,
Well,
rather than in the
who knows
beginning.
What got me on it, Lorna, was that some of the things that she referred to in her letter were in 2008.
I see.
Sweet doing.
Oh.
I think one
Spencer.
of the things. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
On page 2 on our thing.
Yeah, if you look open the top.
She goes from 2008.
I'm sorry.
That helps a lot. Annie.
6 of 1, but doesn't include the cap.
You got it. That's it. So from 2008 to.
Right. So one of the things that she has in here, and it may just be because I spent a lot of time.
But I don't see the gap, is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 2008, and then it goes to 2019.
No.
No.
To the present.
No, there's a
January
September.
2019 to present, right. But between, 2000. Okay,
She was historic planner and then a preservation planner
Right.
Yeah.
and then a consultant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are the.
So
Those are the
it's
references, yeah.
2004, 2005, 2005, 2008. So, yeah, that's right.
But she's done surveys for more than these 5 towns. Maybe it'd
Yeah.
be wise to choose a town that she didn't list as a reference, just by chance. And see.
Right.
Yeah. Just check
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to lose.
Yeah.
No,
No,
and
no,
she
no,
was the
I
top
just
choice
don't.
too,
Yeah.
and there was no pushback.
And the other thing too, and this has absolutely nothing to do with it, but under her education, she only has the Boston Architectural College. She doesn't have any of the dates of the others.
Right.
And that just makes me a little.
As a college person, right?
As the admissions person for college, it just
Sorry.
No, I'm joking.
There are things that I would, flag.
Yeah,
and
we get it. Yeah.
And then her community appointments, she doesn't have her dates on the community appointments either. So when you look at a resume that doesn't have dates, that makes me nervous.
I mean, she's old.
My resume now, like with this critical eye. I'm kidding.
One of the things. Well, in each of these situations, I know somebody that was on them.
Yeah.
But you can't check it
You
because
can't.
you don't know what year.
Right.
So you could call in and say, "So do you know this woman? She was on the Boston Landmarks Commission." They're like, "No." So you could really screw it up, or it could be beneficial. I mean, you never know which way it goes.
Yeah.
But the Fort Point Channel Historic District Commission that's a very strong group.
Yeah.
The Highland Park, I'm not sure Highland Park is in Massachusetts. I know of a Highland Park in New York and one in Pennsylvania, but I don't know of one around here.
There's one in Dallas too,
Is there?
and
Well,
it's
maybe
really nice. It's the best part of
Yeah,
Dallas.
I love Highland Parks, but I just don't know one
Where?
around here. And then the Boston Commemoration Commission. I'm not quite sure what those, but she's working and she's living on Huntington, so
Yeah. She's close
Yeah.
now, which is good. Not too far.
I just think that there are things that flag.
Yeah, definitely.
But
In
other
our
than that,
negotiation. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. So you definitely have
She
to.
certainly has done a heck of a lot of Form Bs.
Right, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You take 8 communities times 140, you're talking over thousands of them.
Yeah.
and her Form Bs.
I picked 8 communities. I didn't count how many communities she did. I'm just using that as an
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to go back over the Form Bs from when you did this before? Were you on the commission when they did this
No.
before? Just you were?
Yeah.
Okay. I think she's more thorough than Pal.
I said that, yeah, especially in her architectural stuff.
Yeah, I think she was much more. And the only thing that I think her maps, what she did with her maps were great.
Yeah, love that.
That
Yeah.
part I really liked. And the fact that she went into like the one that where they said it was, I can't remember the name of the woman. I think it was the very first one in
Sampson,
Middleborough.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was Deborah Sampson house, and she was able to get it down to a certain point.
Yeah.
But one of the things that made me think about that when we were first starting is that if we do the plaques, how, and we should ask her about that, how close does she get to, so that you can pick out of her descriptions Joe Schmo. It's the Joe Schmo house because he was the person who lived there the longest.
Yeah.
Instead of, when was it first done? But then you could do circa the date, because there's certainly, I've looked at a lot of the houses in Norwell, Hanover, and Hingham as I've gone through there. And a lot of them have the C.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
And the C's.
circa.
What's that mean again?
Around.
Around the time of, so you like she found the house on certain maps, but she didn't find the name of the person, and then she went further. I mean, she really did her homework. She went further and went to the
That's
registry.
what I like, yeah.
But she didn't. She wasn't able to find the information.
And there was a lot of stuff there for the Sampson house being the first one. Now, obviously, that she liked that survey herself.
Yeah,
I'm saying she had a lot of information that you're right. The if you remember, the PAL people didn't give you much of a narrative about who lived in that house.
Right.
That was what was lacking. She didn't bring they didn't bring the house to life.
Right. The storytelling on it, like why.
Yeah, the idea that we'd had for finishing off the houses around the park. So when PAL did the houses on the park, they did them as a group. So there really wasn't any history. So you couldn't do plaques, you couldn't do a visual history.
Right.
And that's one of our whole things is doing the visual history.
Live and learn,
Yeah. So she could start with those to get those visual histories ready so that they can go up
The anniversary.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we want to give them the plaques. Oh, okay. Great. Excellent. Those are good points from everybody to build into for when we're checking references and then when we're building our contract and saying, here's what we want from you as we have our kickoff meeting, if we're approved to move forward with her. But let me quickly again go through our ratings from everybody. So Sean, you had a 5, a 3.5, and a 4. Molly, you had a 4 across the board. It's great. Lorna, 4 across the board. Mike, 4, 4, 5. Robert, we had a 444, and then I had a 445, and Kathy abstained as the chair, the procurement officer. So, couple.
Yes. Did you expect any differently? Yeah.
So,
And she did a wonderful job abstaining.
Yeah. I think it should be written up. Kathy did a great job.
abstaining. Yes. So I think that again, her approach is great. We didn't have anything that was not a good fit based on our reviews. I think, again, we've got some good points that we can bring to light during our contract negotiation if we get approval from the MHA to move forward with it. But other than that, is everyone in agreement that she's a solid candidate so that we can move forward with this project?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, great. Anything else before we close out the meeting?
That was fast. Did I have the time wrong? Was it 10 instead
30.
of 30?
10:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So next, Lorna.
I was just curious. How much did the first survey cost?
Oh, I don't know.
I know it's going to
yeah.
go up. I mean,
Less.
just so I had a kind of
Significant.
basis.
It was
I know it's gonna be-
10,000 from us and 10,000 from MHC.
So it's
So it was
double.
20,000. Yeah.
And this time,
We were gonna.
We're doing more.
And he said go for more.
Yeah, because you won't get any. You won't get.
Massive.
We only had one with 40,000, so
Yeah.
you'd have even less if you try to do a $30,000 one or something.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So let me ask Mary, what is the next step?
So next step is I will populate our little calculation sheet with all the ratings, send it off to the MHA, our contact to the MHA to just make sure to say, here's what we all agreed upon, get their feedback to say, get their okay to move forward with contracting. So we'll move forward. Once we get their approval, hopefully early next week, we can get the contracts in motion and get this person on site.
Do you want us to do references at this point?
We should probably do references.
Yeah,
I don't know if we'll do references or
Okay.
if the MHA will do
Okay.
references, but I'll double check that. But I'd love to do that next. But I want to give them our ratings. We're
Yeah.
ahead of the game, which is great.
Oh, good.
And then
I
the
know.
reference checks. Yep.
There are other towns doing this. I don't know who they're competing. Who? Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what I'm
They
saying?
what?
There's other towns doing. They're in the same position that we are. I don't know
Yeah.
who they're
Who they
who they have on their plate.
We
'cause it's
want
not
to
many.
lock her in as soon as
Right.
possible too, and
Right.
get it in motion so that we can have the kickoff before the end of September, and then get this rolling so that we can have some
Yeah, there's a
solid-
tight deadline, timelines.
tight deadline and then
Timeline.
Yeah.
solid assets in time for our 150th anniversary too,
Plus,
celebration.
if she's got your time frame is perfect with pictures because you want it
Yeah.
to be in the
That
period of time when
Fall and winter.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just had one more point that I just remembered. So I noticed that on her proposal, she was talking about using CDs.
yes,
Yeah.
I thank
One
you.
thing that I wanted to bring up that really makes me feel uneasy about that. For one, CDs are already very obsolete.
I agree.
In the future, if we use CDs, we will run into major problems with runnability of them, either because CDs are very susceptible to data destroying damage, whether that be just like heat, which the Historical Commission has a lot of. Whereas CDs, they need to be kept in a climate controlled area.
Yep.
Thumb drives and hard drives do not. I would.
We can make that a
I don't know. Yeah, it could be something that the MHC has historically in the past required them to do, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think that she probably remember she was turning in things that,
Yeah.
that were older.
Yeah.
But I picked up on that
Yeah.
it should be
Yeah.
that we should have it on thumb drives.
thumb drives. Okay, great.
Either
Good-
that
good
or
point.
hard drives.
But she also
either one.
said something about that she would make it so that you could load it onto the computer under a Windows program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Which is
you
great, too.
don't even need to do that with a thumb drive because
Yeah.
the thumb
Yeah.
drive is preloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can preload the thumb drive and even then transfer it over so that we can keep it on as a town asset.
Yeah.
As
And
a
it's good to
town-
know they have a CD
Oh, see,
tower
we're on here.
Yeah.
We love it. All right.
So if we need one,
We
Board of
have
Selectmen
one.
office.
We have one upstairs,
Okay.
yeah, because we have a whole bunch.
we have a
of them
couple
that
in
I
ours. But
Yeah.
haven't
Good.
looked through.
I have to dust off my old CD player. Okay.
Can we have one other topic while we're here?
Sure.
Or is we didn't do an agenda anything.
We
We did.
didn't. We did.
we did, and it just
That's
said
right.
this. So yeah.
Okay.
So maybe we introduce this and we talk
Well,
about
I
it at the
guess
next
it's
meeting.
just a question. It's a question. Have you heard anything about the CPA? No. You.
Oh,
The arch.
yeah,
the
but-
arch.
Yeah.
I think you're looking at.
That'd be
Yes,
next
yes,
week, okay.
they did. Michelle contacted me in the first meeting. I think it's this coming Tuesday. I wrote it on my calendar, and I'm not sure if it's this Tuesday or next Tuesday at 5:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we're meeting.
Yep. We gave her the heads up that we want to make sure we are in time for our proposal
Yeah.
for the arch with the three. We've got the fire chief, we've got us, and we've got the veterans agent to all on board to do a joint.
And the first one is just a little small pre-application, whatever,
Yeah.
pre-approval.
Yeah.
So it's not extensive.
Yep.
Well, from what
You're floating the idea. Yeah.
yeah, what they told me was that yes, they're having the meeting, but then the forms will come right away because
Okay.
they want to bring it up to the December meeting.
Oh, the special town meeting.
Yes, the special town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So it would
Perfect.
be approved for we call the contractor Tiny
Our Mason.
or Mason because
We're moving it?
No,
No.
that's not the
We're
proposal.
restoring.
Restoring.
Okay.
they're restoring it. He is. I've had 3.
Restoring, not moving.
Yes.
Restoration, as it has some flaws, we can't move it. Yeah.
We've had 3 masons come in to look at it.
Yeah.
And the last one got up on the fire chief. Tim put him up on the bucket, and he was able to tell everything. And then in his estimate, he also said, because the Catholic Church owns half of it, that he will put in Cardinal Spellman's name, which goes into us putting the plaque on Cardinal Spellman's house. And if they do the anniversary in the Spellman Hall,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a
wow.
perfect spell.
Wow.
Perfect
All tied
spell.
together. Yep.
Impressive.
Yep. All right. Any other business before we officially close out the meeting?
When is our next meeting? It's the third Tuesday, right?
Yeah, the 20th.
The 20th. Okay, great.
The 20th. So
Move
thank
to
you
adjourn?
all. Move to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All,
Go ahead.
I
all in
guess-
favor?
I,
All right, great.
I'm sorry, I just realized, I remember now, is that it's a conflict. So it is not this Tuesday, it's next Tuesday.
Okay.
It's the same day, the CPC.
But they meet at 5:30.
They
used to
meet
meet-
5:30,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
right.
So I'm gonna,
Yeah.
hopefully I
You
can
can
leave by 7:30. How's that? Okay, bye.
We'll have protein bars for you. All right, great.
So.
Thank you
that's
all.
it.
Appreciate your time on a Saturday, but we're moving and
That was
grooving.
quick.